But my problem there is, now you're giving the ball on the 50-yard line,
sure.
you know?
Kelce! The big tight end with the game's biggest play, 83 yards. Well, they waited long enough to use their biggest weapon, didn't they?
Now the problem is, did they score too soon?
Never scored too soon.
That's a fair point.
Kelce, 6'6", 260. Did you see the speed on that young man?
Yeah,
he is going to be playing a long time on the next level. And K with a perfect pass. 41 to 34. What a turnaround. Duke goes from getting the go-ahead touchdown, fumbling at the 5, and Cincinnati makes them pay. Boy, oh boy. Longest touchdown in Belk Bowl history. Boy, if you're the quarterback, you're just thinking, I got him, I got him, I got him.
Yeah, and the safety had moved over to the middle of the field. Young Weissman, because there was a route going off to his left, he slid over just enough. Walt Canty, the safety who had walked over to cover, let the Kelce go like you're supposed to in that coverage, and Kay made a wonderful read, and unfortunately for Duke, the fumble, the second fumble inside the 10, maybe the one that cost him. But I still wonder, 44 seconds.
Yeah.
You're right. You could never score too soon.
Well, if you're a safety and you take the wrong angle, and he obviously did, it could be an 83-yard touchdown.
And you think how crazy this is. And I know talking about whether Cincinnati would have gone for it on 4th and 1 inside their 15, but if you punt the ball at that point, Duke's going to have the ball at the 45, and you only need about 15 or 20 yards for a field goal. So I know it sounded crazy at the time, but I think in a bowl game you'd have to consider, we punt this away, and we probably lose the game.
Well, they probably would think of that, that's for sure. Little squib kick. And Duke will have it 1st and 10 at the 32. We check in with Reese.
Guys, we'll let you know they've started Baylor and UCLA. It's on ESPN News, and if you happen to have ESPN 3D, it's also being shown on ESPN 3D right now as Glasgow Martin IV just picked up a first down for the Bears. Scoreless, just over 6 minutes in. We'll get you to San Diego as soon as we're done in Charlotte.
Thank you, Reese. You have a 3D TV? I got to come up with some spare change somewhere and get one of those. Big task in front of Duke right now. 4-man rush. Complete pass to Crowder at the 45. It's going to be a first down. They'll stop the clock momentarily at 32 seconds.
And really smart here by David Cutcliffe. You have 3 timeouts. And because you need a touchdown, every second's going to count. Even though the clock stops, once the officials set the ball,
it starts.
And especially because it's not a long game, so it's not going to take long. That was a really smart timeout, because at 32 seconds with 3 timeouts, it's about extending the game as long as possible. And that would have cost them probably 7 or 8 seconds had they not used that timeout.
They did a study in the NFL quite a while back that said a pass over 20 yards downfield will take about 13 seconds for everybody to get down there and for you to clock it. So if you're going to hit it, to have those timeouts in your back pocket.
Huge.
Player of the game, our Capital One player of the game, Brendan Kay. 332 yards passing, some critical runs. Almost caught, almost intercepted. The pass was behind Scott, off of his hands, and Fry nearly had it. There's a marker down back near where the pass was thrown.
I think this is going to be a personal foul.
Huge roughing the passer. 99 defense, blow to the head. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Dan Giordano, a senior, with
15 yards.
Yeah, and you think about it, the left hand right into the face mask. And here's the thing, that 15 yards is gained by Duke with no time off the clock.
Exactly.
Because the clock is melting away, that 15 yards with no time running off, not just the 15 yards, but no time run off is huge.
Duke about at the point where they can get Hail Marys out of this. Renfrey hit the ball, is intercepted. Picked off by Nick Temple. And Nick Temple is going to score for Cincinnati. Maalik Bomar, who has made one big play after another tonight, got the hit on Renfrey, and he really drilled him. The ball popped loose, and it's a touchdown.
Well, and unfortunately for Duke and Renfrey, he's still down. That was a big, clean hit by Maalik Bomar, who came completely unblocked. And unfortunately for Sean Renfrey, his last play for Duke may be a tough one. That's just a tough way for a young man to go out.
Yeah, he was drilled.
But give credit to Steve Stripling and this pared down defensive staff for Cincinnati. They brought a timely blitz. Bomar came on the side away from the running back. And Renfrey, unfortunately, never saw Bomar coming. You can see the back lined up to his left. And here's from the outside is Bomar's going to come. There is nobody to that side to pick him up because Bomar was lined up on a receiver. Renfrey had no clue he was coming. The ball pops up in the air, and fortunately for Cincinnati, falls into Nick Temple's arms. But that was a wonderful call by the Cincinnati defensive staff.
Yes, it was. Desperate times require desperate measures.
And give Bomar credit. Because he was lined up in the slot, he never showed that he was blitzing. Because if you see that, Renfrey could have switched the protection, put the back to the other side to pick him up, but he was able to disguise it the entire time.
Duke had given up 49.5 points a game in its last 4 games. Right now they have given up 48 to Cincinnati, but they played a lot better than that would indicate.
That was just excellent timing by Bomar. It looked like if you looked at that 100 times on film, it would look like number 4 was going to go and cover Crowder. He never moved his feet before the snap, and that's why Renfrey, a veteran quarterback, coached by one of the best quarterback coaches in the history of the game, and David Cutcliffe, Cincinnati bluffed him. And that was just wonderful call, wonderful execution by Bomar, because you've got to assume a senior quarterback being coached by a guy like David Cutcliffe would be able to see it coming, not the way that Cincinnati ran it. That was just a terrific blitz.
Beautifully designed. And
executed.
Nick Temple playing that linebacker spot in place of Walter Stewart, the All-American linebacker who suffered a cervical spine injury earlier this season and was lost. He would have been a first-round draft choice had he remained healthy, but Nick Temple getting the opportunity to play, and he made the most of it there.
And for Cincinnati, unless Duke can come out, there's just nothing they can do to turn this around. So for Cincinnati, they're going to get their 10th win for the 5th time in 6 years. And you line up the schools who've done that: Alabama, Oregon, Virginia Tech, and Oklahoma.
Pretty good company.
Yeah.
Squib kick again. 9 seconds to go in the game. Here's Reese.
All right, Mike, the Bridgepoint Education Holiday Bowl. Baylor has struck first. Glasgow Martin the 4th, going 1 yard for every number at the end of his name. 4-yard touchdown. Baylor up on UCLA 7-0. Get you there in a few seconds.
Boy, Reese, Baylor doesn't take much time to score, do they? Give us the ball. We have had 1,090 total yards in this game. it has been an offensive explosion.
And unfortunately for Sean Renfree, he's not going to be able to take the last snap for Duke. But here's a young man who's had a fine career and should take nothing away but pride from what he and all of his teammates and this staff and everybody at Duke has done to get this thing headed in the direction where they're going to start having some winning seasons around here in football.
That is for sure. I think there's 1 second left on the clock. And because it was a first down, they will mark the first down and then wind the clock. And this game will be over with Cincinnati. The winner here in the Belk Bowl. Once again, the final score, 48-34 Cincinnati. Now we send you to San Diego for Baylor and UCLA in the Bridgeport Education Holiday Bowl. Standing by.